He carved through flesh like an artist, kept wedding rings as trophies, and bathed with his victims' dismembered corpses. If you're fascinated by the darkest corners of organized crime history, stick around until the end, because these stories will show you just how far human evil can go. Brooklyn, New York, December 2nd, 1954. Thomas Pitera is born to first-generation Italian immigrants from Salerno. By age 7, he studies martial arts. By age 40, law enforcement suspects him of 60 murders. The Bonanno crime family calls him Tommy Karate. Pitera learns butchery. He studies anatomy books. He trains in multiple martial arts disciplines. No other mafia hitman combines this skill set. His body becomes a weapon. His mind becomes a blueprint for disposal. 1980s Brooklyn. Pitera works as a soldier under the Bonanno family. He kills on orders, but he also kills for pleasure. Drug dealers die without permission from superiors. Their stash disappears. Pitera sells it himself. Informants vanish. Friends who know too much about his personal life stop breathing. He keeps souvenirs. Wedding bands from victims. Jewelry. Personal items. Trophies from the dead. The murders follow a pattern. Quick, efficient, brutal, then dismemberment. Pitera applies his anatomical knowledge. Bodies disappear completely. No corpse means no murder charge. He understands this principle perfectly. Frank Gangi works as Pitera's associate. He witnesses things that break the mafia's own twisted moral code. One particular incident crosses every line. Pitera kills a suspected informant. Instead of disposal, he draws a bath. He sits in the tub, naked, with the corpse. Then he begins dismemberment. In the water, while sitting there, Gangi watches through a doorway. The image never leaves his mind. Phyllis Birdie dies tragically when present during a drug overdose involving Pitera's wife. Pitera shoots Birdie in her sleep. She knew too much, witnessed too much. He dismembers her body using his standard method. The DEA begins investigation in 1987. Jim Hunt leads the task force. 3 years of surveillance. 3 years of gathering evidence while bodies pile up. Hunt later described Pitera to reporters. Tommy was a psychopath, an animal. He'd walk into a social club, and the guys would all turn to face him. No one wanted their back to Tommy Pitera. Fear radiates from Pitera even among hardened criminals. Made men avoid turning their backs to him. Captains watch him carefully. The Bonanno family knows what they created. A killing machine without a proper shut-off switch. Frank Gangi gets arrested for drunk driving. He requests to speak with a detective. The confession begins. Gangi participated in 5 murders with Pitera. He knows burial locations. He knows methods. He knows everything. Authorities excavate multiple sites. Bodies emerge from shallow graves. Dismembered remains. Dental records provide identification. The death toll becomes undeniable. June 4th, 1990. DEA agents arrest Pitera along with 25 others. Federal charges include drug trafficking, murder, conspiracy. The evidence accumulates. Witness testimony. Physical evidence. Body locations. Murder weapons. The trial lasts months. Prosecutors detail 6 specific murders with overwhelming evidence. The jury hears testimony about dismemberment, about trophy collecting, about the bathtub incident. June 25, 1992. Conviction on 6 counts of first-degree murder. The judge sentences Pitera to life in federal prison without possibility of parole. Frank Gangi receives 10 years for cooperation. Pitera never expresses remorse, never admits wrongdoing, never acknowledges the 60 suspected victims law enforcement attributes to him. He remains incarcerated today, serving life, still alive while his victims rot in unmarked graves across Brooklyn. But Pitera's psychopathy pales compared to what operated in Brooklyn decades earlier. Brooklyn, New York, 1929. The National Crime Syndicate establishes a new enforcement division. Italian and Jewish mobsters collaborate. The organization needs professional killers, men who kill without question, without emotion, without leaving evidence. They create Murder Incorporated. The group operates from Brownsville, Brooklyn. A gang of contract killers available to any syndicate member willing to pay. Murder becomes a service, a business transaction. Cold, professional, efficient. Abraham Kid Twist. Relis leads a Brooklyn faction. Born in Brooklyn's Jewish neighborhoods, Relis grows up hard. Street fights, robberies, extortion. By his 20s, he's graduated to murder. Relis doesn't kill alone. He surrounds himself with specialists. Harry Pittsburgh Phil Strauss becomes a crew's most prolific killer. Despite the nickname, Strauss never visits Pittsburgh. Born July 28, 1909, he grows up in Brooklyn. By age 20, he's murdering for money. Strauss develops signature methods. Ice picks through the heart. No blood. No mess. The weapon melts. No evidence. Victims discover with tiny puncture wounds. Medical examiners initially classify deaths as heart attacks. Law enforcement estimates Strauss commits over 100 murders between 1931 and 1940. Some researchers suggest the number reaches 500. The exact count dies with him. Frank the Dasher Abbandando partners with Strauss. Born July 11, 1910, Abbandando earns his nickname from quick getaways. He drives. He plans. He executes. His preferred method mirrors Strauss. Ice pick through the heart. Quick. Silent. Efficient. The picks go in between ribs. Puncture the cardiac muscle. Victims die within seconds. Blood stays internal. No external wounds to raise suspicion. The murder incorporated operation functions like a corporation. Bosses submit requests. Contract get assigned. Killers travel to target locations. They study victims. Plan approaches. Execute. Dispose of evidence. Return home. Geographic distance provides plausible deniability. A Brooklyn killer murders someone in Detroit. No connection. No motive. No suspects. The perfect system. 1930s. Peak operations. Murder Incorporated commits hundreds of killings. Dutch Schultz dies in 1935. Multiple union leaders disappear. Rival gangsters vanish. Witnesses recant testimony or die. The syndicate maintains control through systematic elimination of problems. Albert Anastasia oversees Murder Incorporated operations. Born in Italy, arrived in America as an illegal immigrant. Anastasia rises to the ranks of the Mangano crime family. His reputation for violence is legendary. They call him the Mad Hatter for his explosive temper. Anastasia doesn't kill personally as often as his subordinates, but he orders the hits, approves the contracts, ensures payment, and occasionally demonstrates his own capacity for violence when necessary. The operation runs smoothly until 1940. Then cracks appear. Brooklyn District Attorney William O'Dwyer begins investigation. His assistant, Burton Turkis, pursues Murder Incorporated with obsessive determination. They need witnesses. They need informants. They need someone to break the code of silence. They find Abe Relis. March 1940. Abe Relis gets arrested on murder charges. The evidence looks solid this time. Previous arrests ended with witnesses disappearing. This time feels different. The district attorney has multiple witnesses, physical evidence, financial records. Relis sits in Brooklyn jail cell. He calculates his options. The mafia won't save him. Loyalty flows one direction. He knows too much, becomes a liability. Dead men can't testify. Relis decides to talk. The confession begins slowly. One murder, then another, then systematic revelation of the entire Murder Incorporated structure. Names, locations, methods, bodies. Relis details everything to prosecutors Burton Turkis and William O'Dwyer. The information shocks even hardened law enforcement. Relis admits participating in at least 30 murders. He witnessed another 50. He describes the ice pick method, the disposal techniques, the coordination between families. Pittsburgh Phil Strauss gets arrested. The Dasher Abbandando follows. Multiple Murder Incorporated members get picked up across Brooklyn. The trials begin. September 1940. Harry Strauss trial. Prosecutors present overwhelming evidence. Multiple witnesses. Relis testifies for days. He describes specific murders with clinical precision, dates, locations, victims, methods. The jury deliberates briefly, guilty on all counts. Judge sentences Strauss to death by electric chair at Sing Sing prison. Frank Abbandando faces similar prosecution. March 1941 trial. Relis testifies again, details the partnership, describes the planning, explains the methods. Guilty verdict. Death sentence. Both men appeal. Appeals denied. The execution date approaches. June 12, 1941. Sing Sing prison. Ossining, New York. Harry Strauss enters execution chamber. Age 31. Over 100 murders credited to him. He shows no emotion. Makes no final statement. Offers no apology. The executioner straps him into the electric chair. Secures the electrodes. Places the hood. The switch flips. Voltage surges through Strauss's body. Multiple jolts. His body convulses. Then stillness. Pittsburgh Phil dies at 11:06 p.m. One of the most prolific contract killers in American history. Gone in minutes. February 19, 1942. Same prison. Same chair. Frank Abbandando walks to his death. Age 31. Dozens of murders. He maintains innocence to the end. Claims Relis lied. The final statement falls on deaf ears. The execution proceeds. The dasher stops running at 11:11 p.m. Albert Anastasia avoids conviction. Witnesses against him die or refuse to testify. 3 separate murder charges in 1928, 1932, and 1933. Each time, evidence disappears. Witnesses vanish. Cases collapse. Anastasia understands survival. He operates through intermediaries. Maintains distance. Leaves no direct evidence. The law knows he's guilty. Proving it becomes impossible. He survives the murder incorporated prosecutions. Rises higher in the Gambino crime family. Eventually becomes boss. His reputation for ruthlessness grows. October 25, 1957. Park Sheraton Hotel, Manhattan. Anastasia sits in barber chair. Hot towel over his face. Relaxed. Unguarded. 2 gunmen enter. They fire multiple shots. Anastasia dies in the barber's chair. Blood pools on white tiles. His murder remains officially unsolved. Everyone knows it's a mob hit, ordered by rival bosses. The Mad Hatter's reign ends with bullets and barbicide. But murder, Inc.'s methods evolve. New killers adopt improved techniques. The ice pick gets replaced with more efficient systems. Brooklyn, New York, 1966. Roy DeMeo, born September 7th. Son of hard-working Italian immigrants. Grows up in Brooklyn's working-class neighborhoods. By age 16, he's running with street gangs. By 20, he's killing for the Gambino family. DeMeo studies criminal technique obsessively. He works briefly as a butcher's apprentice. The experience teaches valuable lessons. Meat processing, knife work, efficient dismemberment, body disposal. He joins the Gambino crime family officially in the early 1970s. Anthony Gaggi sponsors him. Gaggi recognizes DeMeo's potential, the willingness to kill, the lack of remorse, the attention to detail. DeMeo assembles his own crew: Chris Rosenberg, Anthony Senner, Joseph Testa, Henry Borelli. Others rotate through. They operate from the Gemini Lounge on Flatlands Avenue in Brooklyn. The crew develops a signature method. They call it the Gemini Method. The process operates with assembly line efficiency. Step 1. Lure the victim to the Gemini Lounge, usually under false pretenses. Business meeting, drug deal, social visit. Get them inside. Step 2. Lead them to apartment above the bar. The crew waits. The victim enters unsuspecting. Step 3. One crew member shoots the victim in the head from behind. Immediate. No warning. The body drops. Step 4. Lay plastic sheets beneath the corpse. Minimize blood spatter. Keep cleanup manageable. Step 5. Wrap a towel around the victim's head. Catch remaining blood. Prevent floor staining. Step 6. Begin systematic Dismemberment. DeMeo supervises. His butcher training shows. He knows where to cut, how to separate joints, which tools work best. Step 7. Package body parts. Multiple garbage bags. Heavy-duty plastic. Sealed tight. No leaks. Step 8. Dispose of remains in various locations. Car trunks. Dumpsters. Landfills. Ocean dumps. Never the same location twice. The entire process takes less than 2 hours. The crew cleans up, removes evidence. Within hours, the apartment looks untouched. No blood, no smell, no indication of murder. The Gemini method eliminates the primary evidence law enforcement needs. No body means no murder. Without corpse, prosecutors struggle to build cases. The crew understands this principle perfectly. 1970s into early 1980s. The DeMeo crew operates at peak efficiency. They murder car thieves, drug dealers, rival mobsters, informants, anyone the Gambino family wants eliminated. They also kill for profit, stealing cars, murdering owners, selling vehicles through chop shops. The body count escalates rapidly. Conservative law enforcement estimates suggest 75 murders. Other investigators believe the number exceeds 200. The crew themselves loses count. Roy DeMeo becomes paranoid. He drinks heavily, uses cocaine, suspects everyone of being informants. The violence becomes erratic. Crew members worry he's drawing too much attention. Paul Castellano runs the Gambino family. He orders constant murders. But DeMeo's methods become too visible, too messy, too risky. Federal investigators circle closer. January 10th, 1983. Roy DeMeo's body discovered in the trunk of his car, parked at Brooklyn location. Multiple gunshot wounds. Executed by his own crew, on orders from Castellano. The DeMeo method used on DeMeo himself. Fitting ending for a mass murderer. The crew continues operating briefly. Then arrests begin. Federal prosecutors build RICO cases. Witnesses testify. Evidence mounts. Convictions follow. Anthony Senna receives life sentence. Joseph Testa gets life. Henry Borelli dies in prison. The Gemini Lounge closes permanently. But the methods survive. The techniques pioneered by Murder Incorporated and perfected by the DeMeo crew spread throughout organized crime. Professional killers study these methods, improve them, adapt them to new situations. Jersey City, New Jersey. April 11, 1935. Richard Kuklinski is born to Polish and Irish parents. His childhood is violent. His father beats him regularly. His mother uses corporal punishment. By age 14, Kuklinski commits his first murder. A neighborhood bully. He bludgeons him with a wooden pole. Feels nothing. No remorse. No fear. No hesitation. This lack of emotional response defines Kuklinski's career. He becomes a contract killer. Works for multiple crime families. Never gets made. Never joins officially. Operates as independent contractor. The families call him the Iceman. The nickname comes from his preferred body, disposal method. Freezing corpses, storing them for months, then dumping them. The frozen state confuses time of death, makes investigations difficult, establishes alibis for clients. Kuklinski claims over 100 murders during his 30-year career. Law enforcement confirms several dozen. The true number remains unknown. He works for DeMeo's crew, learns the Gemini method, adapts it for solo operations. His methods vary. Guns, knives, explosives, poison, crossbow, cyanide spray. He experiments constantly, finds efficient solutions for different situations, removes bodies efficiently, disposes evidence completely. December 1986. Federal agents arrest Kuklinski following extensive undercover operation. An agent poses as a fellow hitman, records conversations. Kuklinski discusses past murders, describes methods, incriminates himself repeatedly. The trial reveals extensive evidence, multiple murder charges, conspiracy, racketeering. The prosecution presents overwhelming documentation. March 5, 2006. Trenton Psychiatric Hospital, New Jersey. Richard Kuklinski dies of natural causes, age 70, serving multiple life sentences. He gave extensive interviews before death, detailed his career, described murders with clinical precision, showed no remorse, only satisfaction in his efficiency. But some killers operate on even larger scales. International operations, political murders, mass casualty events. Sicily, Italy, February 18, 1957. Giovanni Brusca is born in San Giuseppe Jato. His father is a mafia member. Brusca grows up immersed in Cosa and Nostra culture. By his 20s, he's initiated. By his 30s, he's killing for the Corleonesi clan. The Corleonesi represent the most violent Sicilian mafia faction, led by Salvatore Totorina. They wage war against the Italian state, against rival mafia clans, against anyone threatening their power. Brusca becomes Rina's favorite enforcer, his most trusted killer. Authorities eventually suspect him of participating in over 100 murders. Many involve torture. Witnesses, informants, rival mobsters, all die slowly. The Italian government wages aggressive campaign against mafia. Anti-mafia prosecutor Giovanni Falcone leads investigations. He's building comprehensive cases, targeting leadership, threatening the entire Cosa Nostra structure. The mafia decides Falcone must die. They assign the contract to Giovanni Brusca. Brusca studies Falcone's routines, his travel patterns, security details. He identifies a vulnerability, the highway between Palermo Airport and the city. Falcone travels this route regularly. May 23, 1992. Highway 829 near Capaci, Sicily. 5:58 p.m. Giovanni Falcone travels in armored car. His wife, Francesca Morvillo, sits beside him. 3 bodyguards follow in escort vehicles. Standard security protocol. Brusca hides in remote location overlooking the highway. He planted explosives days earlier. Tons of TNT beneath the roadway, wired to remote detonator. Falcone's convoy approaches. Brusca watches through binoculars, confirms identity. His finger hovers over the detonator button. The convoy reaches the kill zone. Brusca presses the button. The explosion registers on seismographs across Sicily. The blast creates a crater 30 feet deep. Chunks of highway rain down. Falcone's armored car launches into the air, flips, crashes, explodes on impact. Giovanni Falcone dies instantly. His wife dies instantly. 3 bodyguards die. The highway becomes a crater. Wreckage burned for hours. The murder shocks Italy. The entire nation mourns. Thousands attend Falcone's funeral. The government vows vengeance. Law enforcement doubles down on mafia prosecutions. Brusca continues operations. He tortures the 11-year-old son of an informant, strangles him, dissolves the body in acid. He bombs churches, murders priests, kills journalists. The body count reaches at least 100 confirmed victims. May 20th, 1996. Sicilian police arrest Brusca following extensive investigation, multiple charges, multiple murders. Life sentences accumulate. Brusca makes a calculation. He becomes informant, provides testimony against hundreds of mafia members, details murders, explains operations, names names. His cooperation proves valuable. Hundreds of prosecutions result from his testimony. The Sicilian mafia suffers devastating blows. Leadership gets imprisoned. Operations collapse. June 2021. Giovanni Brusca released from prison after serving 25 years. The decision outrages victims' families. Public protests erupt across Italy. A man responsible for over 100 murders walks free. Lives quietly under witness protection. Victims remain dead. The pattern repeats throughout organized crime history. Killers murder without conscience. Racks up astronomical body counts. Eventually gets caught. Some cooperate. Some die in prison. Some get released. The victims stay dead regardless. Thomas Pitera sits in federal prison today. 60 murders suspected. Life sentence. No remorse. The murder-incorporated killers died in electric chairs or prison cells. Hundreds of murders between them. Bodies scattered across America. Roy DeMeo died the way he killed. Shot, dismembered, disposed. 200 estimated victims preceded him. Richard Kuklinski froze his victims and his own conscience. Over 100 dead. Died in prison. Giovanni Brusca walks free. 100 victims dissolved in acid or blown apart. Served 25 years. Released. The deadliest mafia hitmen in history share common characteristics. No remorse. No hesitation. No conscience. They view murder as work. Bodies as problems requiring disposal. Human life as worthless except as currency in criminal enterprises. They operated in different eras, different organizations, different countries. But their methods evolved from the same philosophy. Murder as service, death as business, violence as tool. The ice picks of murder incorporated become the Gemini Method. The Gemini Method influences the Iceman. The Iceman's techniques inspire others. Each generation of killers studies predecessors, improves efficiency, reduces evidence, increases body counts. Law enforcement eventually catches them. Technology improves. Witnesses cooperate. Evidence accumulates. RICO statutes enable prosecution of entire organizations. Informants trade testimony for reduced sentences. But the killing never stops completely. New hitmen emerge. New methods develop. New organizations form. The cycle continues. Different names. Same violence. More bodies. The Gemini Lounge stands empty today. The apartment above remains sealed, but the blood stains soak too deep into the floorboards. Some stains never wash away.